News Talk 1070 KHMO. We have the opportunity this morning to get together with the new general manager for our group of stations. Dave Greene is in studio. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, Harold. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And of course, whenever you come to a small community, of course, everybody wants to know, who is this guy? Where does he come from? What's the story? So first of all, talk about, tell us, give us a thumbnail Dave Greene story here.
The quick version, huh?
There you go.
We only have 10 minutes, right?
There you go.
Well, I was born and raised in St. Louis, and as I told the staff, I'm one of the lucky ones. I knew what I wanted to do from a young age when I would take my little Fisher-Price tape recorder and record Cardinal games and the Dukes of Hazzard, and then go sit in my bed and listen to them back. I wanted to be in broadcasting, and I was involved in it in a lot of different ways over the last 15 or so years, most of the time in St. Louis and in sports radio, but I have done some different formats in a few other cities, Memphis and Little Rock, to name a few, but I'm excited to be here. It's going back into broadcasting for me because I got out of it for a few years, but it's great to be back in and great to be with a company that is as forward-thinking as Townsquare is, and in great markets like Hannibal and Quincy.
And I know you and I had a conversation recently. You had an opportunity to go someplace a lot bigger than Hannibal, Quincy, but chose to come here.
Yeah, I actually got to Townsquare Media through an opportunity in Albany, New York, and had talked things over with them and with my family. And, to me, and the company asked the question, what about a smaller market? And in radio, we talk a lot about market size and that sort of thing. And I told them that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me, first and foremost, is my family. And my family and my wife's family, most of them are in the Midwest and a high percentage in St. Louis. So to be in New York sounds like an incredible opportunity, but probably not for me. I'm a Midwest guy. As I said, I spent a little time in the Mid-South, but that was still just a 4-hour drive away from home. So, having grandparents, as any parent knows, having grandparents close by is very important, and it was to us. So while the opportunity to go to New York was there, this to me is a better all-around opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And as you say, like some of us, you talked about trying to get out of radio for a little while. I've done that more than once, but once you get, as you say, you knew from a very early age that's what you wanted to do, and once you try to get away from it, but it pulls you back, doesn't it?
Yeah, they pull you back in, as they say. It's it is something that gets in your blood, and when you get away from it like I did, it really put things into perspective for me. I would sit in meetings. I was on the digital side, which obviously became important for this position because it's important to our company, and that's where everything is headed. But radio is sort of the hub, and I think it's still going to be for a long, long time. And so to have the opportunity to get away from it, to sort of look at radio from the outside looking in for a change, it just really refueled that fire and reminded me how important a lot of communities feel about being connected to their radio station, whether it be music or whether it be a news talk format like KHMO. And I see that every day and saw it being outside of the business. And it reminded me how important it is to me in my daily life. So I'm really excited to be back in it.
Mm-hmm. Of course, just a couple of weeks ago, we said goodbye to Ed Foxhall, something else kind of unique about your situation. You're coming into a situation where your predecessor had been in this building for 45 years, and that's got to be something to take note of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Ed has been great to me. Ed is obviously a fixture in the community, and I had known his name in the radio industry and in the state of Missouri, especially because of his affiliation with the Missouri Broadcasters Association. being in St. Louis, we knew who Ed Foxhall was, and he's been an important part of this community for a long time, and I hope that he continues that through his relationship with us. I kind of joked with him, you may be moving out of the office, but I sure hope you're not moving away from the station. And he kind of looked at me and smiled and said, this is my family. This is all I know. And said it would probably take him a few weeks of getting up in the morning and driving halfway here before he realized, wait a minute, I'm retired. But, even he said, with everything that Townsquare wants to do and will do in this market and where everything is going, he liked things the way he did them. And he enjoyed it and had a great career, but he was ready to hand the baton off, and I'm honored to accept that baton from him.
Mm-hmm. So it's a matter of education for you, even though you don't come from that far away. Still, the Hannibal Quincy area is new to you. So what about your first impressions of the area?
Well, first of all, it's the people, and this from having been around this area for a long time. That is the charm of the Midwest. Is there is a certain type of person. They're friendly. Everybody has been very welcoming, and not just the employees that feel they have to be. The ones that I have met in outside of it, and just having conversations. The neat thing for me is being able to say, I'm the general manager for Townsquare Media, and when I mention KHMO or our sister stations Y101, Kick FM, WLIQ, I see eyes and ears perk up, and that's exciting. It's a community. They both are, where there's a lot of events happening, a lot of opportunity for us to be out there and support the community, and so I'm really excited about that. And you got to get me to a couple baseball games, because I hear that's a fun thing to do here in the next few months.
Oh yeah, you gotta go to Clemens Field, watch the Cavemen. That is a venue that's, of course, I could sit here and tell you the whole history of that, and I imagine Bill Schuler's probably clued you in on that pretty well at this point.
Yes, my conversations with Bill, I feel like they're just ongoing. They don't really necessarily have a start and an end.
There you go.
And a lot of it has to do with our love, both for play-by-play and especially for baseball.
Well, and you and I had the conversation, of course, being in the St. Louis area, we were spoiled growing up. As play-by-play is what attracted me to radio in the first place anyway, and growing up listening to Harry Carey and Jack Buck and all the rest, and of course coming to a Cardinal network station, it's good to be a baseball fan in the Midwest.
Oh, there's no doubt. And that was, people in this area understand it. And it is obviously hard to explain to others sometimes how, I mentioned radio being in my blood. Cardinal baseball has been since the day I was born. So the fact that, we're airing Cardinal games here, that I'm still talking with people in the front office who I've known for a long time, that's exciting. And I hope to grow our relationship with the Cardinals and maybe do some different things and some things beyond just airing the games, because that is certainly one thing that I have picked up on is the love for sports in the area, and obviously a lot of that towards the Cardinals.
Sure. And something you alluded to earlier when it comes to moving forward, and I've told people before, when it comes to the digital side of it, when it comes to social media, to the internet, websites, Facebook, all of that, those are all tools that Townsquare embraces very much so. But radio, that in some form or fashion, people are always going to look to radio, I feel like.
Yeah, no, and that's, I got into print for a while, and a lot of what we heard when we started that, and this was in 2007, print's dying, and you hear about radio and this and that, and people, you almost have to have a long conversation to really define what that means. Print wasn't necessarily dying. Newspaper readership of the physical newspaper in your hand is obviously down.
Yes.
But there's a ton of people going to websites to read the news. So you just now have to factor in more things. And it's the same thing with radio. We know there's a lot of choices out there. Fortunately, we have stations like KHMO where people have grown up in this area, listening to it for a long time, relying on it for information, just to be able to move a product as you've been doing in previous hours. So, there's that association with it, and the association with radio is special. It has been, and it will continue to be. And Townsquare realizes that. And the other opportunities, like the internet, is just another way to sort of strengthen that bond that we have with the listeners. But they're still there. There's a lot of people driving around right now listening to us in their cars, listening at home, listening through the internet. There are more options, but it's still a very viable product.
Yes, and I kid, talking about, when radio being in the blood and you're just a radio person. Of course, the line that I use to emphasize that is the line, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." Yeah, that sums it up as far as I'm concerned. And but as we say, moving forward into the 21st century, all of the rest of it, and Townsquare is has all of that going for it, and moving forward, will continue to do so, of course.
Well, absolutely. And I think if you visit any of our station websites, you'll see immediately how important that site is, because we realize that's just another tool where people are using, and people are looking for information, or to bond, or just to read something entertaining from somebody that they know. So we're excited about that. I'm excited about a lot of the events that we do, and some new ones that we may do down the road. Again, it's a forward-thinking company that encourages us to take risks, which is unique, because I was with a company in St. Louis that I was a part owner on, and we didn't want to take any risks, because there was too much money involved.
There you go.
In that. So it's nice to have the support of a big company behind you.
Dave Greene, we appreciate the visit.
Thank you. Anytime.
Dave Greene, General Manager for Hannibal, Quincy, Townsquare Media.